Welcome to Rotary Hospitality Podcast. At Rotary Hospitality, we not only service linens, we're also your one-stop shop for all your hospitality needs. My first guest, Mike Ferrio, we're going to talk about what's going on in the industry, how the tariffs are affecting our customers, and what are some other options to offer our customers to go forward. Let's get this party started and let's talk with Mike. I'm here with Mike from Imperial Dade. How you doing, bud?
Doing good. I'm honored to be the first guest, and I'm ready to get into it.
It's going to be a great day, a lot of great things to talk about, and thanks again for coming. One of the things I wanted to ask you is if you could sort of share with us, how did you get started in the hospitality?
I finished school. I was in Trenton, New Jersey, and then I decided to move down. There was somebody down here that I was dating long distance, so I planned a date. I drove down, and her father happened to be in the business, and he kind of mentored me into it. I had no idea about this business. I didn't know that this is something I was ever going to do or wanted to do, but he brought me in. He showed me everything, and it grew on me. So eventually, I got a career out of this whole thing, this whole journey down to Florida. So I'm happy this day. It's been 20 years. So
wow, congrats.
It's been good to me, and I look forward to the future. Just rolling with the punches.
Yeah, that's all we can do these days.
That's it.
So, Mike, for some of the viewers that are under a rock and don't know what Imperial Dade is or does, could you tell us or tell them a little bit about you guys?
Imperial Dade. So we basically cover food service, hospitality, cruise ship, sports and entertainment. We cover building service contractors, hospitality. I mean, it's a long list of verticals, but at the end of the day, we're supporting our customers. We're getting them products. We're keeping their businesses going. We have in-house experts, so we're not relying on outside manufacturer reps. We're completely in-house. Chemical equipment experts. We're seeing ourselves as part of that customer's business, and we're seeing their success as our success. So we all want that outcome. But yeah.
And one of the other great things is Imperial is, I think, the only one that does is with equipment. You guys in-house service it, which is huge. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's grown and the advantages of everybody using Imperial for products like that where they can be serviced.
Yeah, so when we sell a piece of equipment, we stand by it. We have an equipment specialist, so if there's any issues, like he can go by, do full training. He can go by, do troubleshooting before there's an actual service call set up. A lot of times machines are it's something simple that we see every day that a customer doesn't because they're not familiar with it. So it definitely separates us. We're not relying on somebody else to make an appointment for us.
Or go on YouTube, hey, how do I start the...
Yep. So we have somebody that we can refer to that's all he does every day is equipment. And having that is priceless because it's one of those things that there's too many products. There's thousands of products. There's thousands of items. You can't be a master of all. You're going to be a jack of all trades but master of none, where we have a master that can tell us everything we need to know.
And I think that's really one of the, you have many highlights, but that's one of the things which sort of really sets your Imperial Dade apart.
Definitely.
By having that and when you can give that pitch.
Definitely.
As we know.
Yeah.
That's amazing, everything that you went through and started. And like I said, Florida is a great place to, show your talents off. Tell us a little bit more of what you actually do for Imperial Dade.
So I started out as the equipment manager. They just got into the equipment business at the time. And currently the company was Dade Paper. This is back in 2006. So they acquired a company. They had an equipment line. Previously, all they did was food disposables. So they needed a guy to run it. They needed a guy to get it off the ground and get these guys that only sell food disposables to sell maintenance equipment, auto scrubbers, vacuums, everything, to hospitality, to restaurants, to building service contractors. So that was my task. So I came in and, I worked my way through as an equipment specialist, as an equipment manager, and so on, just kept going. And eventually I traded over into sales. So now I have everything. So I went from selling one vertical to all of them.
And basically, it's you're wearing many hats, and I guess they really needed a guy from the Northeast to come down and show these Southern guys how to really do this. Then, huh?
Yeah, maybe in the beginning. No, I mean there's so many. It's like the second home down here with so many Northeasterners. But I mean, I'm half my life in New Jersey, half my life in Florida. Now I can't figure out who I am. But
Yeah.
it's great. So I just I don't know where the future is going to go, but
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of changes going on as you see, not as much as us with cotton and stuff, but in regards to aluminum and the tariffs. Tell us a little bit about that. What's going on?
Everything's going up, and there's currently uncertainty and like tariffs and what's going to happen, and we're trying to keep everything as tight as we can and keep everybody informed on price increases, any issues we're having. Everybody's in the same boat. Nobody's in a better position or a worse, but everybody's in the same position. So it's really how we, as reps, help our customers get through it, just like we're trying to get through it. So
Right. And I guess everything's very, very tight now that it's, with the products and material and aluminum, everybody's trying to gouge to see who's going to, show off first and say, okay, here's the raised prices to compete.
Nobody wants to be first. You don't want to be the first to tell your customer the prices are going up, but unfortunately it's part of the game, and you don't know what line you're going to be in, but at some point everybody's going to have that hard conversation.
And where would you say would be most of the increase in obviously the aluminum? Any other products?
The aluminum is definitely going to go up. Anything coming from China or a tariff state, it's going to be going up. But everybody is going to be in the same position. So we just have to do the best we can for our customers and show them solutions where they may be buying an expensive item. We find a different item for them. We can save their business money. We can keep them afloat through this.
Right.
And that's really where it falls on our shoulders. We have to be that consultant for the customers to really be the difference maker versus somebody else who's just taking an order. That's where I feel like we are different. Like
Right.
we have specialists in house, and we're not just relying on outside manufacturer reps. Like we really are. I consider us the best.
Yeah, well, no, you guys definitely are, and and you're growing. And I think you were telling me. You guys have about 97 acquisitions.
97
so far.
acquisitions. We're a big Pac-Man.
Yeah.
So
no, you definitely are.
yeah.
Getting back to the tariffs and stuff. Are you guys thinking about any other places to use besides China? I mean, to get rolling.
They're always the people upstairs are always looking for solutions for us. So they're definitely doing that, and they're going to find any way we can to ease the suffering and make everything a smooth transition as we go into the unknown.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for us is like I was saying, we have to find ways. They may have been using this product. We have to this is an option. We have to show them that. We have to see if that'll integrate into their business.
Right.
And and it could be the difference between them making a profit and not making a profit. So
Right.
so there is an important aspect to us that we have to come through.
Yeah. Where do you think the most challenging component would be for whether it be for hotels, nursing homes, or your favorite restaurants?
Restaurants. I feel right now, currently, it's going to be supply chain because people are going to be nervous about buying, waiting for the tariffs to hit. So these big companies they may wait to see what happens if they buy early. Maybe a tariff hits and the ship's on the sea already, and the tariff it's going to. So there might be an issue with a little bit of supply chain. I feel like hasn't happened yet, but it could start.
Really?
It may be Q2, Q3, but just something to keep an eye on.
And are you guys sort of preparing your customers already for this? Just to say, hey, we may have some price increases come June or July, and
any customer I have that's relying on certain products, like we kind of have that conversation. We have to
that's got to be a real nice conversation, huh?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Well, you got to have plan B, plan C, plan D, and that's what we do. Like that's a big thing. We have to have a backup plan. There's got to be something. So we're not caught in the corner.
But that's a beautiful thing about you guys. You have you think about the beginning when you guys started as Dade Paper, and now you guys are a conglomerate.
Yeah.
And I guess eventually the game plan is to go public.
Yeah, I'm sure that's they're a monster. I mean, it's a huge company now. When I started, I think it was a $350 million company. Now they're in the billions. So it's been a huge change, But they're a monster, and it's kudos to them.
Well, hopefully they you stay on and they give you a handful of shares, before they go
great.
public and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Who would you say would be, say like top 2 competitors of yours right now? That sort of
depending on which
different products.
Yeah, it really depends on which vertical you're in. If you're in restaurants, it could be a chain, a broadliner, Cheney, Cisco. If you're in equipment or chemicals, Janssen. It could be Home Depot Pro, HD Supply. It really depends. I mean, the competition's, it's Florida. There's competition everywhere. Everybody's at the top of their game, so you have to be on the top of yours. And it's good to have people that keep you sharp, right? Like you gotta, iron sharpens iron type of situation. So I respect everybody out there. Everybody that's in sales is got my respect. It's a tough grind. It's a fight. You gotta have that fighter's heart, and yeah, we're all going through it together.
Would you think, in regards to obviously relationships that you and I have always talked about is very key, but would you say now with these new tariffs and stuff that, some of these people may look the other way and, look at some other companies and vice versa, because of this stuff and
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's gonna start thinking that the grass is greener and looking around just out of curiosity, maybe sooner than normal. When we have season down here in summertime, everybody's always they get that extra
on
time
edge
to make a little change here and
Sure.
there. But I think now they're definitely gonna kind of accelerate that and be a little more proactive when they're like, well, this price. But in turn, it's not always greener. Like that's what I say. So it's relationships, like you said.
But like we also said, it's also, hey, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
And obviously, hey, you're giving me this at a nickel less, and you're getting shitty service.
Yeah, I mean,
you are an all-star. I mean,
thanks.
you used to do stuff, 7 days a week, and and that's no joke. And as you've said to me, and it's just, when's as it's challenging, I guess, in our industry is balance, and where you sort of take that from here, where you can sort of obviously take time to come out and do this, take care of your customers, also take care of your family, and most importantly, your personal life.
Yeah, it's a lot.
If not, which young kids, can do it, but you're gonna run yourself ragged.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are going through that now, where if you're not on 24/7, your business goes somewhere else. You have to be there for them. So it's that hard balance where if you're not there for them, there's a consequence. Like they're going to leave. So you have to make those choices or find a way to make it work. And that's the struggle everybody has.
So you would think more obviously boots on the ground than it's not like you guys are, pushing that much for marketing wise, right? I mean, or is it very little or with stuff like that? Or
no, I mean, like a lot of it is referral based. I mean, a lot of it, I mean, the word spreads. I mean, they have their presence and I think, but a lot of the reps, it's referral based. They still knock on doors. You're still making calls.
Great.
Yeah. So you still have that human interaction. And
well, I think we're losing that. For certain businesses and stuff, there's everybody want to sit behind the desk and
100%
be able to do that and make the calls. And as we've said before, by going out and meeting someone, whether, like I said, bringing donuts or whatever it may be, bagels or something, it goes a long way.
100%.
And I really think that's changing, which is unfortunate, but that's just me.
Yeah,
Everything's X generation guy.
Yeah. And I'm like on the cusp. I'm right there. I'm on the cusp. So it is. Everything's going to evolve. We have to adapt. Like we all have to figure out how to maneuver while this whole business is changing, and I think that's another challenge. But all we can do right now, I feel like everything is based around speed. Like every customer wants speed. They want somebody to respond fast. But they want accurate speed. They don't just want you to respond, and they want an accurate answer fast. They want to know they can get you. The relationship has to be there. They have to trust you. It has to be genuine. And these days I feel like people they weed that out when somebody comes in and they can smell when it's not that person and it's an avatar and they're
Sure.
what it's really about. I mean, we're all in business, but if you got to be who you are. You got to that's my opinion. Like I'm not going to buy from somebody that I know.
And your gut, you just don't feel it. And it's this
feel
guy's test. You don't feel like he's going to be there 100% if I need to call him on a Thursday at 4:45. He's going to be there to get that. So I need stuff for Friday or Saturday. Where do you see the business in Imperial Dade in like the next 5-10 years? What do you see?
Oh, just they're going to be the biggest. They're going to be the monster, and God knows how many acquisitions it will be to that point. But it's just going to keep going the way it's going. I feel like they're going to figure out whatever they have to figure out, whether the economy's good or bad. They're going to make their moves, and I don't. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, but I can at least see for what I'm seeing right now. They're just moving forward.
Right. And then one of the other things which I'm hearing a little bit more of sustainability. You guys working on a lot of that, or some stuff changing with that? Have you seen changes over the last couple of years with
Yeah, sustainability. Yeah, it's like California is big. Like it is there by the beach. It's big. Like there's pockets where it's mandatory. In certain areas, like California, and in terms of the book of business I have, I'm more BSC. I'm more hospitality, like less restaurants. So it's not affecting me as much.
Right.
But they definitely, I do get a lot of customers where the businesses are trying to get away from certain products that aren't going to impact the environment in a positive way. So, we have that ability to get them that.
But that's the thing. It comes with the price.
With the price.
And that's something where, you're trying to do something good for the environment, but meanwhile you're buying a plastic straw for, 10 cents, and here you have to buy this other one for $1, and you're trying to help the environment and do this, and it's
that balance.
Yeah.
Got to figure out where you want to be, but also, and it has to be. I talk to a lot of customers, and sometimes there's products that we don't even have compost sites for that. So it's more of an optic. So we want to make sure we get them the true sustainable products that are going to be biodegradable, that are going to not sit in a landfill, for a million years, and not just be a visual thing where it looks like they're doing something.
Yeah.
So that's important too.
No, without a doubt. I think the times are changing, and people are, looking at things a little differently to see how we can recycle, or what we can do with any type of product these days.
Yeah.
And that's great that you guys are on board with that, and that's one of the things we're starting to do with as well.
So Imperial, their tagline is more than distribution, and that's basically what it is. It's we're going beyond just selling products, taking orders, showing you. Everybody's got the same widget. What separates us is the experience you have with us. Reps that they're going above and beyond for the customers. They don't want to see them fail. If there's an issue, like they're the backstop. Like they're going to make sure that business keeps running, and whatever we have to do, we do. Anybody's going to look out for that customer to make sure that we're not the reason they're not getting to first base. It's a lot on our shoulders too, because we take it personally. We want them to have a great experience with us, and we want them to be beyond expectations, and I think that's what we strive to do every day.
Right. Now, do you guys do stuff, and I'm pretty sure internationally as well?
We do. We cover the Caribbean, international. We're in Canada. All over the United States. It's just wow. Our reach goes everywhere, so we can accommodate customers that are national, which is huge. So we're not just on the East Coast or the West Coast. We have full coverage.
As we were saying earlier, as the times are changing, and obviously as you brought up Amazon and that sort of product or line, people following, do you ever really think that it will be something that people will be able to, or customers will be able to get product that day if they...
I think at some point in the future that's going to be what it is, because that's the next step where people want that same day service. From everywhere, even Amazon. So it almost seems inevitable that could be the thing. But and I also feel like that's where every model of every business is going. So they're chasing Amazon. They want to be. In certain situations, it's a great model, but you still have to have those experts to to help people on the field. So it's a little bit of both, I think, will be the future.
Yeah. And also, obviously, it's the logistics side which can make it or break it, and it's something where that's a challenge, obviously, in today's world where, it's challenging to find good people to work. And, if truck, 323 is out and so-and-so has the flu, and, as we said, balance and to juggle all this, because I think our customers are just very used to getting products very quickly. Like we said, Amazon's the beast, and they sort of have set the standard of the bar. And, so it's pretty challenging to sort of, it can be done, but, it's just at a cost.
It's a cost, yeah. And it's just, it's something that I don't feel like is in the commercial space yet.
Right.
It's getting there. Like Amazon's doing it, but it's I see it as inevitable. Like eventually it's coming. So right now, I mean, in terms of, same day, I mean, the reps, we do our added value, I hope, could give us that extra day for right now.
Yeah.
We're next day delivery, so if you need something tomorrow, we got you. But yeah, same day is going to be a minute.
Let me ask you on another note, what do you think, which is already starting to happen in our industry with robots?
Yeah, autonomous is definitely going to be the future, without a doubt. It just seems like it's like anything else. Like there's a lot of people that are curious by it, but it's almost in the stage of a plasma TV being $10,000 when it first came out, and everybody waited till the. So I feel like there's a lot of reluctance where people are just kind of waiting. But eventually, I mean, it makes total sense. I mean, the labor savings, you can have those employees doing other jobs, getting things done that weren't getting done before. So it's 100%. In my eyes, it's coming.
Yeah. So
it's a matter of that tipping point, and then, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're starting to see that with some of our manufacturers that they've had issues in the past with employees, and now they have obviously like the things that going across the floor. And robots taking, skids around and everything like that, just to, because they won't talk back to you, and they show up, and it's the future is here. As we've learned over the last couple of years since COVID, as Rotary is in the process of being the one-stop shop. We've come a long way, and we do not say no. And if there's something somebody asks for, we basically say, hey, give us a minute. We'll get back to you.
Give us a shot.
But I'm sure my great grandfather and grandfather are rolling over when we knew we sold maxi pads and tampons. But it sort of goes on like Imperial to be the one stop shop. But what would you say was the craziest request or anything?
Oh, request wise, I had somebody years ago in Key West, and they wanted something the same day. Big customer. It was sternos, so they needed 30 cases of sternos. So we accommodated it. We got a rental car, got all the sternos set up, drove down. I mean, it was like an entire day thing. I'm trying to think of something better, but that was the one where I was kind of.
Tell people what sternos are that don't know what sternos are.
So that you're gonna heat catering trays. You're gonna have like the wick if you ever go to a I'm trying to think like a wedding
or
buffet.
Something.
Yeah, it's just going to heat up
the
that
little round circles that go underneath the trays.
Little round guys,
up. Yeah.
And that was one of those moments we knew we could come through for them, and after that the relationship was solid. Like they knew we were always going to be the guy they could count on and trust. And that's why we do it, because we know that that's going to be, you could talk all you want,
sure,
but it's the action that people see.
Well, that's like Elvis, a little less conversation, a little more action.
Exactly.
You know, and that's something where it's, as I've seen, it's working down here, it's if you put in the effort and, try and be fair with pricing and be there for service, there's no reason why you shouldn't get the business unless someone has a relationship, which is understandable. But it's something where I think if I say, Northeast mentality, no offense to anybody else in the Midwest, but you have that fire in you, and it's just something where you're hungry to go out and get that business and do the best you can. And as I've said before, and I've said this many times, there's plenty of business for everyone out there. There's plenty of business.
There is.
And it's just, so that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
one of the things that I would tell a customer, not to cut costs worth is with comfort, whether it be for towels, for 4 or 5 star property. Some people, I understand, they have budget wise, but at the end of the day, the guest wants to feel like they're at home, and you want to have them to have that comfort. And we all know everybody has a budget, but to get that person, their customer, to come back again, I think it's something where if you have higher end linens at a 4 or 5 star property that are comfortable, if people are getting if a lady's washing her face or coming out of the shower, you're going to say, wow, that's a great towel. But and that's one of the things we offer. It's like a white car. We have many different types of towels that we can do with. But that's what I would say is with towels. And one of the other things is what some people say is, I want pool towels, because all our members are using 5-6 pool towels. And I suggest, why not use a lounge chair cover? So basically you eliminate all the towels, and you have a lounge chair cover, and then on top of it, if they're a 4 or 5 star or higher end property, okay, let's do some embroidery. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you can fine tune it even more and say, hey, would you like to resell these to your guests? Okay, well, let's embroider these. Let's put these in packaging, and you could put whatever price on it for that. And some people, I think, really appreciate that, because they don't realize, because everything is so busy these days, that, hey, how can we make a little extra bucks for our property?
Yeah.
And these are just little things which, as I'm seeing more and more, is branding.
Value. You're adding value.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brand recognition. Take that towel everywhere. And where'd you get that towel? That's a soft towel.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask. It's right there.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like I said, if it have it, and we encourage that, not theft, but we that's something where
theft.
at other places, and it's actually it's pretty cool, and it's at the end of the day, it's branding, and tell all your family and friends about it.
Yeah. I say the one thing I always tell people not to cut on, because it's going to come back to bite you, is quality. I feel like when people get below a certain level of quality, they are saving money up front, but they're not looking at it down the line. So they're losing money in the long term, because that product might not be there. So maybe if it's a pad and they're using it to scrub a floor, and the pads are wearing out 10 times faster than a good pad, and that seems to be across the board. It could be a garbage liner, and maybe like it's a super cheap garbage liner, but it's not a true mill, and it's ripping right away. So we're doubling them up and tripling them up. So people end up spending more in the long run, but they're looking at it right in the face, like they're looking right at that day, like what they're gonna pay. So I always try to encourage people to look at it down the road, and look at the investment you're making. If you get a quality product, that's going to last longer. So,
and I'd have to say that's one of the other challenges is in regards to this, all about this, to sort of circle this all in, is I think it's for some of the properties they have a tough time trying to find help, and what they do is they have people inside the facility that are working with them, and some of these people really don't know what they're doing, in regards to purchasing and stuff. And hey, give me some towels, just for example. And it's like, okay, what size towel? Give me the short white towel.
That's why they need you, because you're the expert. You're the expert.
So it's sort of, as I say, try and educate the customer, because I basically, not to be a smart ass, I say back to him, I said, it's sort of like, okay, I want a white car.
Could be a million different variations.
Yeah, can I get the square washcloth? Okay, well, we have a 12 by 12, we have a 13 by 13, and can you send me a picture? How do I send a picture? It's like, yeah.
You got to guide them, you got to lead them and show them, and I feel
like that all takes time, and that's part of it where, as Imperial and as a Rotary, to be able to get a little bit more for that, and to grow it, and but go ahead.
But that's what I feel like. That's exactly it. It's that they're looking to us for that guidance, because they don't know, and so we have to train. Give them the training to just to even ask the right questions about what they want, and then be there for them through the whole process, and make sure they get what they want from the beginning, and
because that goes a long way. Because eventually, I mean, and it's one of the things we've had a great new customer of ours, where he knows what he's doing and buying stuff, and then after a while, he's telling everyone down the line, and we make him look like an all-star, and then he gets an award for the month, for do that.
Yep.
And the best thing ever was getting a call and an email from him saying, thank you guys make me look
awesome.
good. And that's something which we want to try to make everybody feel comfortable as best we can. But that's something which I've been seeing in the industry where, and it's sad to say, whether it be a GM or a director of purchasing, they just, like everything these days, everything is just moving so fast. And hey, just give me whatever Bill gave you last time. And it's like,
yeah, they have a lot coming at them, and there's a million things going on with them, and they're going 10 different directions. So yeah, you have to, yeah.
And one of the other things is, what's going on more and more, recently is a lot of, whether it be firms, accounting firms are buying, or hedge funds are buying, companies and stuff like that. And really as I see it, and I could be wrong, it's the bottom line. And you sort of lose that relationship where it's just, hey, this has got to be at this price. I don't care. There's no emotion.
Yeah, that's what's happening with the future. It's just and then that's like the Amazon effect too, where it's price, and people are just going online and they see a price. And today that, this box of towels is $50 and your price is $55. I found it on Amazon for $50. And then it might be $50 today, but then it disappears next week and it's going to be $150. And it's just somebody emptying out their storage that they bought. So that's making it difficult too. But yeah, it's turning it into so you gotta really, you gotta program that, not program it, but you gotta understand that like I'm bringing value to you and I'm looking out for you, and when things go sideways, I take care of it and I cover you, and like what is that worth? Like, what is that worth? And I feel like that's what I bring, where I try to put the hustle in for them, and they know I care, and I'm not just going to shrug my shoulders if they're in a bad spot and not help them. Like, I'm going to make sure that at the end of the day, like I can take a deep breath at the end of the day, and I don't have to feel that anxiety like I didn't come through.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's one of the many things that you do well, and in growing Imperial down here in South Florida with your team, and it's just something which, I commend you, and I'm sure they do as well by seeing the the numbers and stuff. But it's something where there's a lot more said is by going out, seeing people, either if it's for 5-10 minutes.
It's relationships. It's all relationships.
And just, hey, if you have a couple minutes to take time, here's the latest new line we have. Would you like samples? And I'm sure it's the same thing with you guys. Hey, yes, pricing is going to be going up, but we have this other line. Can I send you samples? As long as that door still stays open, and that's what you want. We've lost business, let's just say, on a product, and somebody came in super cheaper, and you sort of get really bummed out. But then the wise person, you think about it and say, how can I sort of tweak this? Where down our tree? What can I do? And then you come up with another option, whether it be food service or whatever it may be, to come in to. There's always a solution.
There's another avenue.
Yes.
Yeah, there's always another avenue. So that's
and some other companies are not able to do that, and that's why I think with Imperial and with Rotary, you have that luxury of having options, because not many other people, and I can tell you other people that have done business with us said you guys have way too many lines. You have way too many lines. I'm like, well, that's the way it's been. We've been doing this 100 years, so okay, we have too many lines. But that's for us, because we like to be able to accommodate everybody, whether it be from a prison, a camp, to a 5-star plus property. Yeah. That's something which means a lot to each of our generations to grow it and to do that. And it's like the same thing with Imperial. Yeah. And the service side goes a long way.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing people are reaching for that's going away. But if you could provide that, you're going to be the difference maker. You really are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 100%.
Now that we've, come across and celebrated 100 years in June, now we're moving on, going to be Rotary Hospitality. Some of the things that we're striving for is, obviously for each market, whether it be for healthcare, colleges, food service, and we're trying to get our customers our best pricing that we can do. We're dialed in with the manufacturers now, where maybe 15-20 years ago for certain products we would have to go through another distributor to have competitive pricing. So we've come a long way, and it's something where it's obviously you're not going to get super rich on a lot of this stuff, but it's a lot of single digits. And one of the ways I was very, very blessed to get set up with Imperial Dade, and it was on my mind for quite a while because I was trying to, obviously, after COVID, think of some other products, which Rotary was never used to selling. I mean, we were doing everything from latex gloves to nitrile gloves to everything. And as people would say to us, and it always drives me crazy, I didn't know you guys can do that. Yeah. And that's why I think now, regardless of from Rotary Supply Corporation after this 100th year thing, going into Rotary Hospitality, to be able to let them know that. But it's something where you have to try and offer other things to accommodate the customer because it's challenging.
It is, and you have to be diversified. So you have multiple options. So if this doesn't fit, that will. So we have to be able to pull back and have those extra tentacles to reach at and be able to support the customers. And that's the same thing with us. So, I mean, in the last 10 years, we've grown so much that, I mean, at this point, I can't think of a line we don't have access to.
Towels.
A towel. But
it's soon to be.
but it's a difference maker, and you can get paralysis by analysis, but that's why we have specialists where they kind of lead our way, so they guide us to show us the right solution for the customer that we have to come up with.
Yeah.
So,
and that's one of the other great things. So just sort of getting back, when we became partners together, we don't overlap one another because yes, we do have a lot of the same customers, and that's sort of the agreement. And like I said, there's plenty of business for everyone, and if we can give Imperial the business for some of the customers that they don't have, it's vice versa. So that's it was a great relationship. And also, the colors were blue and white, so were Rotary. So that was a win-win. And a family business as well.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
Yeah.
It was meant to be. Yeah, we complement each other. We do.
Yes.
Yeah, we complement each other. We're both stand-up people.
Ham and egg it, baby.
Yeah, ham and egg it.
Mike, I can't thank you enough for coming and being my first guest.
Yo.
You're the best.
Yo, anything for you.
Yeah, thank you. And like I said, it's been a pleasure working with the Imperial Dade team. You guys have been a great support and always there. And as you've always answered the bell, whether it be on the weekend and stuff. And we can't thank you enough. And we look forward. And you are family. To down the road and what we can grow to.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. And it's an honor to be here, and I'm so happy you asked me to come by, man. It means a lot.
You got it, bud. Where's my cigar?
Next time.
Yeah.